it's Money Honey Day. It's money, honey, honey. Money, money, money. Money, the root of all evil, or the love of money is the root of all evil. The good thing about money is if you, like my granny said, if you'll put your little aside, you'll be okay. Are people putting it aside, Paul Kiker?
Not as much as they should be.
Not as much as they should be. We are seeing, and I hope all realtors are seeing this too. I hope it's nothing new. I was looking at a page of listings on FMLS, and I think there were like 60 houses listed. Out of 60 houses, over 30% of them had been reduced. The price is reduced. That's scary. That's scary. But we went through that time that the houses went, woo! And now maybe the houses are leveling where they should be. Mm-hmm. Is that possible? Is that possible? So we're not sure what is going on with money, but I can guarantee you when you run out of money, you're in trouble. One of the things that I love that finally the government is doing is if they're throwing EBT cards at everybody and you get an EBT card, you are now allowed to go. They're adding farmers markets to the EBT world. So you can buy fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. You can feed your family better when you're feeding your family with help from the government instead of going in and buying, and I'm not going to say the names of things, but they're all things that I fed my children. So I'm guiltier than sin. I fed them that punch that's in the big jug that's red. Y'all remember that. It's full of red dye. I fed all my children that. That may be what's wrong with them. I don't know. And then all of the stuff that we think, well, that's a quick pick-me-up. There's a certain breakfast item that you put in your toaster. I'm not going to say the name of it. But we know that in England, they won't sell it because it has so much dye in it. So as a health nut that you are growing things at your house.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you feel better about eating what's being grown at your house?
Oh, yeah. Not only do I feel better, but I feel better about what I'm eating.
Hey, guys, we're going to take a short break while we correct a mic problem. Have we got it corrected, guys? Nope.
I think my mic is causing some problems.
His mic's gone crazy. It knew what he was going to say today, and it's worried about it. So y'all, we're going to take a short music break and go to a song that is on the new CD being released next Thursday, y'all. Next Thursday, the Mountain Life CD, all original music, Mr. Ellijay, right here in Ellijay. Every song was written about this community, this town, these mountains. And one song in particular is going to be featuring the Mountain Life in Hiawassee, Georgia. So here we go to a little music while we play with Paul's mic.
Y'all want to do one for AIM? This one's for Daddy.
Has grown, and my how time has flown since we walked together on this land. I still love Daniel Boone, and I stare up at the moon when I remember times you came to see the band. My favorite childhood thrill was to meet you on the hill when you came home from the sawmill every day. Never let me down, and you never wore a frown. You always found a way to smile and say, I saved a biscuit for your son, and up that rocky hill I'd run to the old oak tree up up by the washing stand. Things were really different then, but I'll always remember when I took your big black lunchbox from your hand. Memory of you, Dad, of all the happy times we had when everything was simple back at home. But the ages rolled away those days, and the family has parted ways. Words can leave things empty and hearts can roam. Well, I've seen more days without you now than I saw while you were with me. And Daddy, I sure hope you understand. I thank you for the biscuits, Dad, and I thank you for the smile you had as I took your big black lunchbox from your hand. You saved a biscuit for your son, and up that rocky hill I'd run to the old oak tree up by the washing stand. Things are really different now, but I'll always remember how I took your big black lunchbox from your hand. Oh, Dewey sure has grown, and my, how time has flown since we walked together on this land. There stands the old oak tree, and a precious memory where I took your big black lunchbox from your hand. There you go, Daddy.
Hey, okay, mic problem fixed. Sometimes electronics do that. Not our fault, not their fault, just electronics. Welcome to the world of electronics. Welcome to the...
I was buzzing this morning, so
yeah.
it probably caused some
We are facing some craziness in housing. Will you please read the statistic? Because y'all, I've been so super crazy worried because we have a lot of homes in the price point they should be under contract, but because the interest rate is so high that the first time buyers can't make their payments, and the house is so high that the first time buyers can't make their payments, they're stalling and waiting, and I agree with what they're doing. I as a salesperson, I agree with what they're doing. Just sit tight, but tell us the stats, because this will blow your mind.
Yes, this really will. So even at the worst part of the 2008, 2009, 2010 crisis, right, we had, foreclosures and a lot of homes for sale. And I can't read in the fine print the number back then. Let's just say there was about 200,000 more home buyers or home sellers than there were home buyers. So according to Bar Chart, they just put this data out yesterday. It says, breaking news, U.S. housing market, home sellers outnumber buyers by more than 500,000.
I don't doubt it.
The largest gap ever recorded.
I don't doubt it. And honestly, when I looked at the FMLS and I was going down, I'm doing some comps for another sale, and I'm pulling this information, and I kept seeing out of the whole line, it would be down, down, down. Prices are going down. Okay, we've reduced a house $30,000, and yesterday we have somebody who's willing to pay $40,000 less, and I'm like, are you kidding me? So it's to me, I'm very nervous. I'm not scared yet, but I'm very nervous that we have to get this under control, because the rental prices went so high that people can't even afford to rent now. This is the first time ever I can leave Ball Ground and I can drive to Canton and I see for rent, for rent, for rent, for rent. So many for rent signs out there, because the market could stand it for a while and the rental prices went up.
Right.
Because people bought the houses that were up. So the houses were jacked up prices. People bought them. In order to break even, they have to rent a small home for $2,500 a month. And the average two people working with no children and really normal incomes are struggling to pay rent. I have friends who are calling every day. Hey, I've got somebody who needs a rental. Hey, I've got somebody who needs a rental. What's your budget? $1,400. What's your budget? $1,500. I don't know of anything you can rent for $1,400 or $1,500. No. That is scary. My house payment, and everybody knows where we lived, the brick ranch house that I still love today, where Bojangles sits today, our house payment was $726.30 a month. $726.30 a month. Now think about that. That was 100 years ago, 1980. But we owned our business. We both worked 20 hours a day. We did what we had to make our house payment. But our brick house cost $55,000.
Yeah.
$55,000. Our payment was $726.30. It was at 13% interest. It was at 13% interest, but the cost of the house made it affordable for us.
It did, and the dollar had more purchasing power back then because you didn't have the foolishness of all administrations from this point, including Trump. Look, I'm so upset about this fiscal spending package that's out there. That's inherently inflationary. So what you're seeing in housing has been inflation that has helped asset prices on top of easy money.
Somebody called me easy money the other day, and I just cracked up. I said, I am anything but easy money.
Yeah, so I know people just don't understand.
Oh no!
And then you have the euphoria that's on top. I mean, take the COVID thing; it scared a lot of people. Government just injected a lot of capital into the system. You had more money chasing houses. I do not believe that we have a shortage when it comes to homes right now. I believe we have a price problem.
I started to say we have a shortage in affordable homes, and it's not the seller's fault, because the seller has X amount of dollars invested in it because they bought it at the time that it was too high.
Yeah, but I mean that's part of buying and selling. I mean, if you're there's a difference between a home buyer and a speculator. Okay. We
all know when I bought, and we all know that I was in a traumatized situation, and so I bought and I overpaid. And now there are so many things that need to be done that I'm trying to do that are unaffordable, because you're building a house. You're a perfect example.
Oh.
Concrete price is up how much? 400%?
Gosh, I don't know how much.
400%.
From the last time that we built a house back in 2010, substantially. They're getting ready to go up again in September. But again, a lot of that problem has to do with monopolistic practices. Now, I'm not a fan of private equity right now. And Trump wants to open up private equity to 401k plans. That's a disaster. That's like taking the fox,
putting him in the hen house.
No. It's worse than that. It's like putting a fox den in the chicken house. I mean, it's just that they're trying to find liquidity, and they need supply. They need average retail. And see, here's the problem, right?
There is no average retail though, and we see that. We see that because when we pull comps, and I got so screamed at when tax assessments went out.
Oh yeah.
The tax base is based on comparable sales in your neighborhood. Okay, some of them brought a lot of money, and so people's taxes go up.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, what that is we've allowed our governments to tax us on unrealized capital gains.
That's it.
Okay, because from the time you purchase a house, fine, if that's what your taxes are going to be, who cares if you've owned that house for 20 years and it's gone up 300%? You shouldn't have to pay a percentage on whatever the market is. You're being taxed on something that you haven't sold yet.
Right. Right.
And so that's taxation on unrealized capital gains.
Yeah.
Now
And it's killing people. I mean, it's killing people.
Well, I mean, not only that.
I have elderly people calling and saying, I'm going to have to move in with my children, or I'm going to have to sell my home, and I'm going to have to rent a room from somebody, or I'm going to. That's the real truth. I mean, that's the truth. And I have one lady, she said, I would love to stay here, but I'm not in a position to.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart. You know, I'm like, it's hard.
Yeah. I mean, and I'll tell you, it's really hard on people right now. And I'm one of the most blessed things about what I have done for the past 27 years is I work very closely with families. They know that I keep my mouth shut. They know that I don't repeat things. And I've earned the right to be able to kind of be, in a way, like a psychological, I'm not a psychologist,
Counselor.
but a counselor to an
Counselor.
extent. People
If you'd counseled me, I wouldn't be where I ended up. Trust me, and I trust you enough to know. But you know my story, and I would love for you to tell my story to everybody who ever questions, what did I do wrong? Because in 2006 to 2008, we didn't do anything wrong.
No, I mean, the government changed the rules of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of like concrete prices. What I was getting to is private equities bought up most of the firms. They use tremendous amounts of leverage. And then as soon as they get a larger share of the market, they essentially collude to raise prices, okay? So, because they've got to cover it. Another thing that we've got right now, and this is where our government's not working for the people, okay? You know, like, look, I'm really excited that we've done what we should have done. You take 96 out of 100 people are not going to want men to compete against women in sports.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
The only 3 out of the 100 are the 2 narcissistic parents and the one child that has to be the center of attention regardless of anything. There's no moral boundary anymore. So, you know, the fact that that's going back to the way it should be, I'm excited about that. But that's not something to go, wow, this is completely different. We're just going back to our roots. The thing that I'm upset about is you've got a situation right now where your insurance premiums are going through the roof.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Now, guys, I am very fortunate, very fortunate to get a really unique footprint across the United States, because for the past 2 years, I mean, I've got clients in Washington, California, Maine, Florida, Texas, Michigan. I think North Dakota is the only place that we don't have a client right now, and I'm sure there's a state or two that we don't. But I'm getting a footprint. Insurance costs are going up, you know, property and casualty insurance costs are going up around the country. And I also have some clients in Florida that went with a really small insurance company. And when the big hurricane hit, that we hear is the reason why all of your premiums are going up, right? When the hurricane hit, the company that they were with was small. They understood that if there was a catastrophic event big enough, that they may get a percentage adjustment to that payout. Well, they didn't when the big hurricane hit, okay? Because the company had already prepared and set aside. But what I believe is taking place right now, and I just haven't had time to do the research, you look at office property around the country, commercial office property. There's been several properties that have been selling for 10 cents on the dollar.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can drive in different areas that used to be vibrant, big.
Yes.
They're sitting there. They're
Yes.
just sitting there. Okay, now how do you feel about that? Why don't they turn that into housing for veterans?
Well, they should, but
10 cents on the dollar, why not?
well, they should. I mean, the cost to convert is pretty substantial, but they should convert some of that property to new use. But here's the point I'm getting at. I think a lot of our insurance premiums is under the guise that these insurance companies have made poor investments, because they'll go buy big office properties and big, because they get the cash flow off of it, right? And it's a, you know, like banks can own their own building and it counts as an asset for them. And I believe a lot of that's getting passed down to us as citizens, and we just don't have a government that is watching out for the average individual. The prior administration was certainly for the top 1%. This administration is doing a lot of things that are better for the other 70%, but they still, and maybe it's just that they have so many things they got to deal with, right? But we need to work on protecting our people as the government and not allowing these major corporations to rape and pillage the average, what I call retail investor and individual. And a lot of this has come from, big money that's been flowing around. I mean, look, there's a couple of things we got to point out. I think house prices should come down 20 to 30%. Okay, and really 30%. And y'all, it's just math, right? But the problem is when you get emotion, tulip bubble, South Sea bubble. I mean, these are things that we get into this euphoria, right? Most people don't do the math. No different than most people want a pill to solve most of their problems because they don't want to go through the pain of the discipline to get where they need to be. But let's look at it. Incomes have gone up a little bit, but they haven't gone up anywhere near as much as houses have.
No.
Okay? So one of two things is going to happen. Either incomes is, boy, that's good English, isn't it? Incomes
He's from around here.
I did grow up in Ellijay. Incomes have to go up or house prices have to come down. It's just mathematics. I don't believe that this is an interest rate problem. Yeah, interest rates may help the ability to make the payment in the short run, but all that's going to do is continue to fuel inflation. And that's going to trickle through everything else that goes on in the society. Now, let's think about this for a minute. I've been keeping up, and my gosh, it's moving so fast with artificial intelligence and the application.
That scares me to death because I've seen so many things, and you will die laughing. You don't have to do this, but you know what the pink salt trick is?
No.
Okay, well, the pink salt and lemon and a couple other ingredients supposed to make you shed all this weight. And fat girls like me would love to shed all this weight.
Yeah, I have heard of that.
Okay, well, when you see what AI is doing to that, every single star in Hollywood is sitting there doing their thing, but they're lying and it's AI when Oprah says, my husband says he wants me to do so-and-so. She doesn't have a husband, so it's not her.
No.
AI is so scary to me. It is so necessary, but it is so scary.
It's absolutely terrifying.
It's terrifying.
It really is.
I'm scared.
I'm
scared. Somebody's going to show up and say they're me, and they're going to say a bad word, and it's not me.
Yeah.
But I do every once in a while.
Well, I may slip up one day and say a bad word as frustrated as I am about everything.
Tell
But
you.
so the thing about artificial intelligence, it's inherently deflationary. It's going to replace a lot of your jobs, okay? And it's already just gutting the white collar network. I mean, we've got Chris Marks and I have a friend. I don't need to lay any more out there. Let's say this: I know an acquaintance. Let's put it that way. That is a large law firm. I mean, they don't need junior attorneys anymore. I mean, this is hitting the white collar space. Jobs
Isn't that crazy?
Jobs being shipped overseas gutted the blue collar base. Okay. And AI is going to hit the white collar base. I mean, could it replace my job at some point in the future? I think so, but there's technically. But the problem is.
Do you really think personally that could happen?
Not the human component.
Yeah.
But I'm already utilizing it for mathematics in an area that you wouldn't believe. I mean.
That's
So
crazy.
the artificial intelligence, the applications that we're using it within the practice has freed up 12 hours a week of time for me.
Golly.
12 hours.
Yeah.
Now you think
And your time was stretched pretty thin as it was. So now it's almost like you got a gift.
Yeah, usually well, it's a gift, but usually I'll hit that threshold and then I have to delegate. So then we'll hire a new employee. So we're at 10 employees right now, and so they're wonderful people. But I was to the point that I need one more person. Just the amount of time that I've saved in there, and that's not, and I'm teaching my team how to utilize it as well. That probably increases our capacity to where we could grow for 3-4 more years without having to add 3 more employees.
Wow.
So you think about that.
So it costs jobs.
It costs jobs.
It costs jobs.
Which is inherently deflationary. Okay? And when you get better manufacturing of goods, that's deflationary. Prices of goods coming down because you can produce more goods. So the internet was revolutionary because it opened up the market to everyone. AI is disruptive. And we don't know what the full impact
I'm scared
is
of
going
it.
to be.
I'm just scared.
Yeah.
Because I know, and you've dealt with it over and over and over with people who have been scammed.
Oh, yeah.
Now that AI is there, if you're at home and you get a FaceTime call from your grandson, you know, where you used to get, hey, Grandma, I'm in jail. Can you help me get out of jail? And that
Yep.
we knew that was a lie. But now if their face is in front of you and their mouth is moving, just like those commercials about that orange, pink salt stuff, it looks real. Until you really look, and then they say one thing that you know that's a lie, that's not true.
Yeah, you have to have very good observation skills, and you have to be able to read people to see it. But, you know, one thing is there's a couple things that, and we've had 2 more calls this week with fraud, that we're up to 15 calls in the past month.
That is crazy.
And guys, this is nothing that's happening to
And it's not
the investment
ignorant
accounts
people
we're
that are being
managing.
scammed. It's not ignorant people. These are not people that are stupid. These are people who believe what they're hearing.
Yeah, I mean, my team Carrie caught 2 different clients that had some weird transactions take place in their account, and essentially instantly. But this is stuff that people have been hit with their checking accounts, and y'all, I want to tell you one thing about AI that's going to supercharge that. Now, these individuals were not scammed by utilizing AI, but I consider it to be witchcraft, and here's what I mean. Anytime that you're marketed to any product, these colleges know how to, there's a thing called neuro-linguistic programming, there's all these dark arts, which I think they're witchcraft. They're ways to manipulate people. So here's an interesting thing about AI. If they get enough data on you, and they can do that through your emails, they can do it through, so AI could, if somebody hacks your email system, you can take AI and it can go through every email exchange that you've had back and forth, and they can separate it by conversations you've had. They can analyze your Facebook posts, they can analyze and it can develop a personality profile. Well, what I think has occurred now is these individuals are developing personality profiles, so they know exactly how to terrify the individuals that they're communicating with. And the common theme is every single individual has been absolutely terrified.
Sure.
And, you know, and I'll say it again, I don't know how to say it so many times. Get arrested before you do all this stuff. If they claim that they've got all this stuff on your computer and they put it out there, so what, right? They're not going to do it. If something pops up and it says your computer's hacked, take it down to the local computer shop, have them scrub it.
It's happened to me 3 times this week.
Don't send money. Don't send money. Do not go buy gold and ship it to somebody. Do not go take money out of your account, put it into Bitcoin and send it off somewhere. You're not going to get it back. And if they tell you not to tell anybody, then tell
somebody.
everybody. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things I told my daughter when she was growing up. I'm like, if somebody tries to molest you, force themselves on you, and they say, "I'll kill your daddy," then you know, if you tell
Let 'em kill your daddy.
then you run. Let them kill
Yeah.
me, because God knows the day that I'll live. So communication. Anytime that they want to get you in a period of time where, oh, this is going to impact your family, your relatives, if you do this, oh, we're going to embarrass you. So what,
Yeah.
right? Because when your life savings is gone, you're not going to get it back. You're not. The government just doesn't have enough resources to get out there and track this down. And you would think that they could, but they can't. And the thing about cryptocurrency is there's always a chain of where that money goes. Why the government can't track it down is just mind-boggling to me, because it is not anonymous. No transaction can take place without it being recorded somewhere. That's one of the reasons I still like cash. You know, if I want to give you some cash for something, I don't do cash business that often, but if I give it to you, you and I know it, but there's no other record that's out there. And this isn't about doing illegal things, it's about freedom, is what it is. Because when the government can track everything and they sell that data to big corporations and then big investment firms, they can move on trends before you because they're getting information quicker than you are, and they can manipulate populations a lot quicker.
Well, speaking of populations, the population of colleges have grown and grown and grown, but so has the cost of going to college. Now, you are very fortunate because your son is so gifted and so smart and so talented. And can you share a little bit about how did you prepare? Because I was on a show, you were there, you brought your young Will with you. He was so quiet, he was just so, I never saw that kid being everything. He's everything. He's got the whole package.
The Lord's blessed that kid greatly.
He is amazing.
And I know this isn't the truth, and it makes Holly so mad when I say this, but
He's more like you.
I'm still trying to figure out what UPS dad is this guy. That's a joke. It's crude. I'm sorry, ladies, but I mean, Will's just, God's blessed him in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And he has something that I wasn't able to teach him. I never pushed him when he was younger. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I did tell him, and I tell any kid that wants to listen to this, especially in the weight room, I said, look, you're going to have to make a decision in your life. You can chase the herd of where everybody is, and you can play keep up with the Joneses. Mm-hmm. Or you can look out 5 years and you can say, this is where I want to be, and then you can back into that and the decisions that you can make on a daily basis to get to where you want to be 5 years from now. And then you just ask the Lord to bless your efforts. Mm-hmm. So I said, specifically in the weight room, I said, when you get started, I said, don't try to max out like all the other guys. Let them brag, let them do whatever. Because if you'll focus on fundamentals now, learning how to do it right, you'll convince yourself that your body can do more than what your mind thinks it can. Mm-hmm. Because when you feel pain, that's uncomfort in a lot of cases. There's a difference between being uncomfortable pain and I'm hurting something pain. Mm-hmm. I said, so push through the pain. And of course, that really paid off for him down the road. Once somebody experiences the fruit of discipline and short-term sacrifice for long-term gain, it becomes a part of their nature because that's the fuel. You fully understand the truth that don't chase this shiny little object, mm-hmm. focus on where you want to go and calculate your steps. Mm-hmm. And it's really paid off for him. I mean, and it helped too, that he grew from like 5'8" as a sophomore to 6'3" where he is now. That helped a lot.
Did you see this kid at some point in his life sitting there signing autographs for people?
No.
Did you ever see that? Because he was so quiet. He was just so...
No, Holly, I didn't get to go because I was out of town to the fan day event, but Holly was like, she just said I stood in awe like little kids. He was cutting up and talking to them because Quill's
so
always
cool.
been the quiet one.
Yeah.
But, if the Lord blesses his efforts and he stays healthy and he keeps working hard, he might get his chance out there one day. I mean, he's on special teams and, they say he's going to get a chance to play some defensive downs this year, so hopefully it'll pay off for him. Holly, I was sitting there one time, and I would do this for my kids. I would gladly lay down any future blessing if that blessing was to roll to my children and it would drive them in the path the Lord has for them. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't give up any future blessings if it's going to drive them in the opposite direction. But I do. I mean, I just pray for them.
What about the Olympics? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Oh, that was kind of cool.
Does this kid have a chance to go to the Olympics?
Oh, I don't know. All we know, so the backstory on this is this spring, Will was injured last year. So this spring they did their lifting, their max lifting, and Will power clean 4 plates. Now most people think it was 405 pounds, but these are metric plates, so it's 396 typically, but still that's, I mean, Will's been doing so close to that for so long, I didn't realize how big a deal it was.
Lord, he can nearly pick me up.
But, yeah.
Don't you say.
And then he squatted 635 pounds,
wow.
which his squat, it should have been higher according to him, but because of his injury, he didn't get to push as much as it was. Still, that's for a 200-pound kid, that's something else. Well, his video went viral. So last I heard he had a little over 500,000 views. Arnold Sports reached out to him, and then they did a post. And then the coach for Team USA Lifting reached out to a strength trainer at Georgia Tech to recruit him to potentially, Olympic team. And we were like, what are you going to do, Will? And he's like, I'm going to focus on football, and I'll think about it after.
Yeah.
So, who knows? He may have a chance. That would be cool. I mean, you get into that Olympic team of lifting like that. And I don't even know how they gauge it. Is it pounds per size? But, I mean, I just kept telling him, I said, just keep working, keep focusing, make those sacrifices in the short run, focus on where you want to be, ask the Lord to protect your efforts, and accept the outcome. Just know, no matter what, when you each and every day, give it 100% of your effort and accept whatever the outcome is.
Does he ever get to come home? Does he ever give himself a break?
Yeah, he did in May. Basically in college football, and I'll tell the parents out there, I knew that it was tough because of because me skiing on a collegiate level and a professional level at the same time, semi-professional, I knew the amount of sacrifice that went into it, but that was nothing compared to what they do. I mean, D1 college football is 11 months a year. I mean, it's 11 months a year.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
And he gets 3 or 4 weeks off in May, and he really enjoyed it and utilized that time. But he's in fall camp right now, and if I remember, it's either 4 or 6 weeks. We'll get to see him this weekend, but I was out of cell phone service last week. I've not talked to him in 2 weeks. I mean, we text each other, but I haven't talked to him, which is unusual for us.
Let's just tell folks why you were out of cell service, because he took the ultimate vacation, the vacation that every man in the world wants to take. And a lot of women today would love to take this, but I understand you slept in tents. My idea of camping is the Holiday Inn, so go ahead and tell them what Holiday Inn you checked into.
Yeah, so I've been on the waiting list. I love to fly fish. That's the one treat that I've given myself over the years, and we've never spent money to hire guides or anything. I mean, it's, we stay in Roach Motel. Luckily, I've never gotten bed bugs. And we hike into the wilderness, right? So one of the things that's been on my bucket list for some time is to go into the backcountry of Yellowstone through the Lamar River Valley. The only area that's more remote, which is an extension of this, Lamar River Valley trip in Yellowstone, is the Thoroughfare. So that's a 12-day trip. So typically the trip that we're on is 8 days. We had to back it up to 6 days, 5 nights. We rode 40 miles through the wilderness on horseback from trail to trail where we exited. We started in the Lamar River Valley and finished up by the lake. But I got to tell you, it was fascinating for several reasons. When I was growing up, there's Paul Harvey. And most of you out there may remember
the
Paul
rest
Harvey.
of the story.
And now the rest of the story. So with Paul Harvey, I thoroughly, I just enjoyed that. I like to know details. I like to know why. And so we drive through the park. A couple of the guys that were going with us, there was 8 of us, have not been to the park. So we hit, Old Faithful, Grand Prismatic Springs. Then the guys were like, forget this, we came out here to fish, we'll bring our families back. And I said, okay. So we go fish, but when we get, so on the side of the road when you go through, we saw lots of elk. And you get into Mammoth Hot Springs, we saw lots of elk.
Did you actually get into those springs?
No.
Okay.
No. Grand Prismatic will kill you if you get into it. Like
Okay.
Mammoth Hot Springs will kill you if you get into it in the wrong area.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's boiling water.
It's that hot.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yellowstone is, I wanted to be an archaeologist as a kid, and it's one of the most amazing places that I've ever been, I've ever
Literally
seen.
boiling water coming up from the earth.
Oh, literally boiling
That
water.
is so
coming out.
crazy.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I mean, we were in the backcountry one time.
In snow-capped mountains.
Yes, there was snow on the mountain still.
That's just crazy.
So, well, and to go back, I guess it was 5 years ago, there was a creek that we wanted to fish, and I'm usually in the lead, or me or Stan's in the lead, and I'm tracking along, and we've got our wading boots on, and we're going across this field. You're through forest, and then all of a sudden there's this field, kind of marshy looking, which is no big deal. And I get about a quarter of the way through this field that's about 100 yards in diameter, and my toes start burning. And I was like, geez. So I backed up, and we had to walk around it because it was a thermal that was just sitting in the middle of the forest.
gosh.
Like, not marked, not anything.
That's crazy.
It's crazy dangerous.
That is crazy, yeah.
So we saw elk all over the place. Well, the guide that took us, it took us 3 years on the waiting list to get in because I interviewed like 7, and this is the one that I wanted to go with. I wanted to go with somebody, and he was the most affordable. Had his kids. His kids have been guiding with him, 26, 24, and 22. But so before we get on the trail, he says, hey, Lamar's got a lot of grizzlies in it. He said, and on this trip, you're going to see more grizzlies than you will any other wildlife, and especially elk. Now,
and you're going tent camping where the grizzlies are.
Yes. So that was the only thing I was really worried about. And he told us, he said, look, I'm not worried about the grizzlies. I've never had any problems with them. He said, I'm more worried about the bison.
Wow.
He said, they'll kill you in a heartbeat. So, but I didn't believe it. I'm like, look, we're going in the most remote area of Yellowstone. There's no way that we're not going to see elk. But I have learned to believe, the wise individuals, especially the ones that are experienced. So in 1996, they reintroduced the wolf. And there's all kinds of controversy around this. So the ones that are talking about how great of an impact it's having, they never go into the backcountry.
Wow.
They're white collar, educated. They wouldn't sleep in a tent. To
They
save their
don't
lives.
have a
Not
clue.
all of them.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but the majority. So you drive through the park and you see all these elk. So at one point we're really 20 miles from the closest trailhead, back in this beautiful country, sleeping in tents, and no elk. We didn't see any coming through. So Kip tells us, Sell was the guy with HK outfit, Rockin' HK Outfitters. He said, when I started in the park, when we get back here, he said, this was the American Serengeti. He said, I used to do trips back here for people to hear the elk bugle in the fall. You know, a lot of them are
Wow.
sightseeing. We were fishing. But the wolves have destroyed the elk population. They went from 18,000 at their peak to 4,000 now.
Gosh.
And they haven't killed the bison like they thought they would. And he said you'll see elk, like the average person has no clue, because the elk want to stay close to people, because the wolves want to stay away from people. Now, we didn't see any wolves. We did see 2 grizzlies. One we watched at a distance. We're pretty sure we had one come through the middle of the camp at night, because they would take the 23 horses and mules. There were 10 mules, 11 mules. They took the mares, they put them in an electric fence, a temporary electric fence, then they put cowbells around the rest of the animals and turn them loose. And the animal, it's amazing. So
That's like a dream.
those
Just like a dream.
those horses would chase a grizzly out of camp if they come through. Like, they just get together as a herd and they push them out. So we did see fresh grizzly tracks. The fishing was great. The big flood hit a lot of the population of the cutthroat trout. And cutthroat trout, for those of you who have not seen it, they're kind of sought after. They're unique to the West. As far as I know, that may not be right, but for fishing in the United States, they're unique to the West. But they have an orange slash under each gill plate. And that's why they get called cutthroat, and it's like Tennessee orange.
Graduated from University of Tennessee.
Yeah. But they're
Yeah.
beautiful fish. They're in beautiful places, and it was epic. I will say this. You got to have, it's been a while since I've ridden horses. I mean, I've ridden a decent amount over the years, but I listened to them about my stirrup length, and the first day I have the worst blisters, scabs on the top of my buttocks. And the second day I was like, I need 3 more stirrup lengths, and then I was fine after that.
Yeah.
But we rode we rode some side hills where my horse, if the trail's that wide, had to sit right on the end. I think it enjoyed me puckering, because I'm
Wow.
scared of heights.
Oh, my
And I'm holding the
gosh.
reins over like this, like, please get over. My toes are in the stirrups, and it's 500 feet down to the river over there. You know.
Oh my gosh.
So, but I'm glad I went.
Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
was worth the 3-year wait,
Yeah.
and something that's been on a bucket list for me.
Now, videography and photography. Did you get enough stuff that you can put together this really cool package to say this is your once in a lifetime trip?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
that
I mean,
is
the
so cool.
pictures don't do it justice, because
Yeah.
the country's so big. Oh, so, I'm old enough. I have to get up, go to the bathroom 3 o'clock every night. And I stood out.
Old age is no place
Yeah.
for sissies.
I stood out the first night, and I looked in the stars, and I was blown away.
Mm-hmm.
They call it the Milky Way. You never really understand unless you see pictures, but the night sky looked like somebody took milk and just poured it across the middle of the sky. The Big Dipper was just right there. It looked like you could reach out and touch it. The Perseid meteor shower was coming through. The peak of it was last Thursday, from what I understand, Wednesday or Thursday, but that's the only night that we had storms come in. I mean, they were storms. We had lightning strike.
So you're sleeping in a tent during all this?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And, but I mean, it sounds like we're roughing it. We had inflatable pads,
Yeah.
And our guide, before he left Chicago to go out there 27 years ago, was a chef.
Oh wow! So he cooks.
we had 5-star meals every night. That was the one thing I was like.
Oh, that's so cool.
I looked at the guys. I was like, did anybody anticipate the food to be this good?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
breakfast and whatnot. But he did say, he's like, I've never seen anybody fish like y'all. I mean, we would wake up in the morning. They'd make a lunch for us, and the fish have bankers hours usually. They don't start till about 9:30. I know bankers start earlier than that. But
funny.
So once the sun hits up, but we would leave and not get back to camp at 6:45, 7 o'clock. I mean, one day we hiked 3.5 miles up, fished 3.5 miles back down. And then that night, the guy didn't tell us, Kip didn't tell us that he had dessert. So as soon as we all finished, they kind of pick up, we go take our plates over there, and we just go fishing again. And he was like, I turned around and I was going to tell you guys we had dessert. I'm like, man, I don't get many days a year to fish in this kind of country, so we're out and at it. So it was fun. And here's another.
Is there a limit how many per day you can catch?
You cannot keep any cutthroat in Yellowstone Park.
Oh, wow.
They're
so you're
endangered.
seriously just going there for the sport of it, not to feed your family. Like when you go to Alaska, you ship halibut home.
Oh, yeah.
You ship salmon home. So you're going there to fill your freezer.
I would do the same thing if you could.
Yeah.
Now the only thing that you are required to keep or kill in Yellowstone now is rainbow trout.
What?
Because the rainbow crossbreed with the cutthroat, and it dilutes the strain.
Wow.
And they're trying to get it back to purity. So inside the park, if you catch and release a rainbow, you'll be fine.
And if you catch a rainbow and have it for dinner, are you okay?
Yeah, you're good.
You're
as
good.
long as it's rainbow.
So,
You just
that's
can't
awesome.
keep cutthroat. And I'm big. Like I've fished. So this was our 17th year of going out west and fishing. And I'm big on maintaining populations. I mean, I know it can be crude. You're catching a fish and you're releasing it, but you're using barbless hooks. You get rid of it quickly. You revive the fish in the stream. I mean, they live. I mean, I caught one fish one day. It's a 19-inch cutthroat. The next day, caught the same fish.
Oh, that's crazy.
And, I did not think that was going to happen.
That
I just
is
happened to go
crazy.
up there and try it. I was like, well, I threw this at it yesterday. Let's see if I can catch it with this today, and it did.
That's wild.
So,
That's wild.
But here's another thing that's sad. So Kip said that a lot of his friends that have been doing this for 27 to 30 years are just shutting down their businesses
Wow.
because they can't find any young kids that are willing to do the work or have any desire to get in the backcountry. So I don't know that my kids will be able to do the same type of trip by the time they've saved enough and can afford it, because there may not be outfitters there. I mean, that may swing, and that's sad because, that national park, you see the beauty, but I can't remember, something like 99% of the people never leave the road that come through Yellowstone National Park, and I have no way of knowing.
Are there hiking trails everywhere?
Oh yeah, there's hiking trails.
Okay.
Like when we were riding in, we met these young kids, two young men, and I was like, so how long y'all been on the trail? So they'd been 55 miles they put in on the Salmon River, and I didn't ask them how many nights because we're moving through and we're passing each other like this. And there's a lot of hikers that will go 3, 4, 5 miles in. We met.
And how many miles in did y'all go?
40 from put in to take out.
40 miles.
By horseback over 6 days.
You still sore today?
No, I'm good now. I will say, hey, that first day we were all laughing because my stirrups were too short. When we stopped for lunch, we rode I think it was 6 hours of riding to get in the first day. So we stopped for lunch at hour 3, and we're a bunch of guys, right? Like the guys are like, hey, y'all want to stop and eat? And I looked around, I'm like, man, I am hurting, but I'm not about to be the first person that says that. And finally, the oldest and wisest of us is like, I am, and I plopped off the horse and I walked bow-legged over to sit down and eat.
That's funny.
But it was neat. It was amazing, and I like to travel, and I don't like travel as much now as I used to, but I like to experience the backcountry. Like for me, Holly and I are different. Holly has no desire to go camping.
No, I'm with Holly.
Inflatable tent.
Holiday Inn's camping.
And I'll tell you this, I should have known this, but a 40-degree sleeping bag is worthless if it's less than 60 degrees.
Wow, that is crazy.
So I think the lows we thought were going to be 34 to 36. The lows the first night, guide said, was around 28.
Wow.
And I did not have enough clothes. And you pack a little bit when you go anyway. So every night
Yeah.
I slept in every clothes, not every sock, because I brought 4 pair of socks, but 2 pair of merino wool socks and 3 pair of pants and 5 shirts. You get sun shirts. They're long sleeve, but they don't retain heat. But you put 3 of those things on, they will retain heat, and then a coat. But it was enjoyable. It was a trip of a lifetime.
I know people who live to go to Paris, live to go to Germany, live to go whatever, and it's $5,000 to $7,000. Was your trip more than that?
No. So
Okay.
I hate to say how much, but I mean, you can look it up and see. So the guide fee for 6 days, 5 nights was $4,500. I had a hotel night.
Which is actually cheaper than when we went to Alaska.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So my plane ticket was $600 round trip. We split the car. The bad thing was we had to have a car to get in. We had to have a car to get out. So we had to pay for a car for 5 days
To
that we
sit
didn't
there.
use.
Yeah.
But we waited to the last minute, got a minivan. I think that was $100 a piece.
Y'all, visualize this, a bunch of old geezers
Oh, yeah.
in a minivan.
I know.
It's so funny. Out of your big pickup truck and out of your big SUV in a minivan.
I know, that minivan was
That
great.
would be footage I'd want.
It was.
That is so cool.
I give one of my friend Stan Cole. He's been my fishing buddy, best friend for a long time, and he always wants a minivan. I think
That
I
is
think
so
because I give
crazy.
him a hard time, and he gives me a hard time. But yeah, I think it was like I was $5,200 total on the trip.
That's awesome.
But you got to wait 3 years to get in.
And it is a truly life-changing experience because you saw things that 99.9% of America will never see.
Oh yeah.
Never witness, never ever walk up on those animals. And yeah.
And I experienced something, I think with age comes wisdom, because you realize there's a difference between theory and reality. And then when you grow up listening to Paul Harvey or the Bible, there's always the rest of the story. And I'm really sad. I'm sad about the lack of management of the wolves. I clearly understand now why the old timers hunted them into extinction. I'm not saying that that's a good thing.
Why
but
did they release them back?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't
that's
know. I
crazy.
mean, it's all about let's get back to.
Well, we saw a coyote in our subdivision with an animal in its mouth. Actually, it was one that I'd been feeding out in the backyard, and the coyote got it. It was noon one day, and it got it. Now, the coyote is a mix between a wolf and a dog. Is that
I
right?
don't know
What are
no,
they?
I think coyotes its own.
It's their own thing?
I don't know, but I tell you what, those coyotes.
But it
are
was
brilliant.
vicious. It was 12 noon, and it just gets this animal, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and another sad thing is the gray wolf, which averages around 60 pounds, was native to Yellowstone. They reintroduced the timber wolf, which averages somewhere between 110 to 120 pounds.
And we've seen movies with those timber wolves in it. They look terrifying to me.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
you read accounts of what happened in the old times. I mean, your family was at risk in winter.
Sure.
Because of the wolves. They're smart. And here's the saddest thing. I was listening to a Joe Rogan interview about 60 days ago, and I can't remember the name of the guy, but we have all these genetic abilities today. They've reintroduced the dire wolf. Now, anybody who's seen Game of Thrones understands how big a dire wolf is, but a dire wolf averages around 220 pounds.
Good Lord.
Okay, and then they also have figured out how to bring back the woolly mammoth. They've got apparently on some ranch in the United States, and understandably they're keeping it quiet. They've got 2 dire wolf and 2 woolly mammoths that they've genetically reintroduced. They found the genetics, injected it into egg.
Yeah.
I know markets, but I forget other stuff from time to time.
Yeah.
And then somehow we're able to bring back
That's crazy.
the woolly mammoth. So
Wow.
we've got all kinds of technology today,
Yeah.
but I'll say Kip Sell with Rock and HK Outfitters. If anybody wants to do it, it's worth the wait. And he does a lot of sightseeing, trips, but we were fishing, so
Yeah,
it was a
yeah.
fishing trip.
I love it. And eight old guys, were y'all tired after the day, and did you sit around and talk about the world today, or did you just rest?
No,
Did you get some rest?
So there's 2 things that were interesting. The pace of information today, and I have to keep up with information, right? So, usually if I'm at a work trip somewhere, I'll call Holly every other night. So I took a sat phone just in case I needed to communicate with the office and check in with the family. But I had so much time out there. We had the best conversation around the campfire.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
it was really
No
enjoyable.
hurry, no rush, just sit and relax.
Yeah, no hurry, no rush. I found myself, I called Holly every night. Because one, I was just like, honey, I want you to see the country. I wish you could see
And
this.
she said, bring me some
Yeah,
pictures.
I know you have no desire to get on the horseback ride back here and sleep on the tent, but yeah, it was really enjoyable. Now, I will tell you, my buddy Stan, because you got 8 guys that are sleeping in tents pretty close to each other. And one night that I was sitting on the side of the campfire, and I didn't think anything about it, but it did kind of make my sinuses swell. And one time in the middle of the night, I told him, I said, if I start snoring, just kick me. And he kicked me, and he was like, could you just shut your mouth? Could you just shut up? So
I love it.
We had so much fun.
I love it. I love it.
Razzing each other. One of the guys brought his son, and I would have given anything for my son at 23, 24, 25 to be able to sit around the campfire with 7 other men who've been through a lot of things in their life, to be able to pass some of that wisdom down. And again, look, how often do the baby boomers spend a lot of time mentoring somebody? There's a whole generation that would rather go on a cruise than take the time to disciple the younger generation. And it's one of the problems we have in today's society.
Yep, that's right. You know what? Time just flies when he's here. One thing I wanted to ask you, because I heard something. Everybody knows I'm a total do not like operations like BlackRock. BlackRock came into Ball Ground and scarfed up something that we were going to do for first-time home buyers. Now, I've heard this rumor, and I want to know if you know if it's true or not. BlackRock is now selling off some of the townhomes that they bought down in McDonough, down in Hampton, down in that area, because they did the same thing. They go in and they attack like a wolf would. They just whoop, and they get it before anybody knows what's going on. And they rent. Well, the rental market has changed so much drastically that now they're selling off some of that. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad, because I hope first-time buyers will now have an opportunity to be a home owner, not making their landlord richer.
Right.
So I hope that's true.
Well, I hope it is too, and I hope we get some regulation to keep institutions out of the housing market.
Yes,
That's one of the problems.
It's killing us.
But
it's
they make a
us.
whole lot more donations to political campaigns than you do.
Yeah.
But so if they are selling, I can tell you why. They're ruthless. It's mathematics. Okay. They realize that all the money creation and all the stupidity coming through COVID was going to cause asset price inflation. They've got investors that want to buy houses. So they clip fees off of that. So they'll move in there real quick. The moment that investors kind of get bored with returns and they start leaving, and the mathematics show, because they'll have to sell assets to return it back to the investors, and the mathematics show that the path of least resistance is down on housing, they move before you do. Because they're like, they don't have loss aversion. So they're going to be like, so what? This house will sell if I cut the prices by 20%. So let's get out of here before everybody else does. Well, by the time they're done unloading, your appraisals are set at 20%, but the average person's still sitting there, and then they have to drop it another 10% to get out. So, who knows whether, Trump's foaming at the mouth to cut interest rates. I'm not excited about that. I understand that it's restrictive on the economy, but at this point, but we have to have some deflation to get this euphoria out of the market, or a younger generation will never be able to buy a home again.
I was going to give you something. I got an appraisal the other day. The seller had valued their home at 1.3 based on what they looked at 2 years ago, 1.3. Just got an appraisal, 2 appraisals actually. One was $900 and one was $889 for the same exact house.
Really?
That's a big difference. It's a big difference.
Well, that tells you right now
that's
you're
a big difference.
Unless you find a cash buyer that comes from somewhere like California or up north, that houses are so much cheaper. But that's equalizing, right? That's starting to equalize, because I've got clients in California. I was talking to one yesterday, and they've got deep pockets, and they want to get out of 2 properties. And they're like, I'm just taking it off the market. I haven't even had anybody look at it. And
that's what I suggested for them. I said, I suggest that while the market is this bad for that price point, because you're where you are, you have what you have, you can't replace it in a normal day. So let's take it off the market, which is not good as a realtor, but you have to take care of your clients.
And I think
you do.
I think the surprising thing may be if Trump does get interest rates down, the initial burst may be real estate prices hold up, but we have a supply-demand problem right now. You've got a lot of individuals that
500,000 people have homes on the market and 200,000 people are shopping.
500,000 more than
there are buyers. Yeah.
Sellers.
That's crazy.
Buyers.
Well, look at the time. Time's gone. We have to leave you. Where rivers, mountains, and good friends meet. We'll see you again on ETC. Remember, this will be on YouTube. Share it with your friends. Subscribe. Doesn't cost you a penny to subscribe to YouTube. Just get in there, click it, and watch us Day and night.
Day
Day
and
and
night.
night. We'll see you again soon. Bye, y'all.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time. And delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We can't play about our future or our finances. Make moves, set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up, stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things. This is pre-tirement.
Smoky Mountain memories about my home in Tennessee. Memories keep calling me home.
It's the 75th Annual Georgia Mountain Fair, August 15th through the 23rd at the historic Georgia Mountain Fairground. Live entertainment, arts and crafts, food vendors, carnival rides, and more. Join us Thursday, August 14th for our 75th anniversary celebration with live entertainment, a fireworks show, and 75-cent carnival rides. Tickets available at the gate or call 706-896-4191. Visit GeorgiaMountainFairgrounds.com for ticket prices and concert schedule. Thanks to Towns County Convention and Visitors Bureau and all our generous sponsors.
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.